Okay, we're back with F1 again, and today we're going to be discussing uh the qualifying at Abu Dhabi, the final race of the year, and it's
Yeah.
Max on pole, and with me to discuss that is Mustafa Jinod.
Okay, so very quickly, we all know that Max has done what he needs to do. He's absolutely rubbished McLaren this year. If you look at what's been happening since Max won in Monza and was winning, then he had a little lapse in Brazil and Mexico. That's because of the high altitude in which Red Bull sim calculations weren't right, and they didn't come with the right setup or they didn't come with the right characteristics for what they would need at those two races. But if you look at it, this half of the year has been the Max Verstappen show. He's been rubbishing these guys. He out qualified them today on a track which should be favoring them big time. He beat Norris by 2/10 of a second. He got almost 0.05 tenths from a toe from Yuki. But in general, Max Verstappen has done his job. And if he wins tomorrow, that'll be 8 victories. Now, if Norris comes second or third, Norris will get the championship. But you'll see a year in which Verstappen had 8 victories. Norris may have had 6 or 7. I think Piastri had 6. And Verstappen was clearly the best driver this year, but he may not win the championship because earlier in the year they didn't have the floor they needed. That floor changed their whole year because it's now allowed them to drive lower to the ground and have low downforce without having drag. And also that the blip in Brazil and in Mexico. If not for that, Max Verstappen would have won this championship easily if they had gotten that floor early in the year. So kudos to Max, man. You've humiliated McLaren. And for those of you who are McLaren fans and say I'm just glazing Max and because I hate McLaren, no, let's keep it real. Look at what your team has done. I won't curse today. Let's look at what your team has done. They have the fastest car or the most stable car in F1, which can outpace. I think in Zandvoort they beat Max by 20 some odd seconds. You've got the most stable car. All you need to do is press. It's auto drive. That car is auto drive. But they found ways over and over to bottle it. They gave up points due to riding too low when they did not need to. Then they lied about it and say they rode high and it was the bouncing. No, they did that. Then they got what happened to them last week? They got the strategy wrong. If they got the strategy wrong and pitted on lap 7 like every other team did, we wouldn't be talking about Verstappen winning it. So Verstappen has done all he can do. And if McLaren and Norris win the title this year, they stumble into a title. It's sort of like when a girl tells you, please have sex with me. They give you the condom, they give you the money and everything, but you still can't find your way inside. And you just say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. By accident, you fall into it. That's how Norris is going to win the championship this year. Verstappen looked like he had already won the championship today, hugging his girlfriend or his wife, his partner, who he has a child with, because Verstappen knows as a stoic person that he's done his part. So he's a winner because we know tomorrow he's going to win that race. He knows he can't control everything else. Maybe Antonelli and Co. or Russell or somebody can help him win tomorrow by doing something dirty. And we all know that if Piastri's leading Norris, he'll let Norris go by. Norris will win a championship, but he's not a champion. I'm not glazing Max here. Norris is not a champion. Piastri's not a champion. They just have a very fast car. I'll tell you who's a champion. The McLaren, the MCL 39 is a champion. I'm serious. Go ahead, Afalabi.
Yeah, I quite agree with you, and I right now, if you qualify on pole at Abu Dhabi, you are odds-on favorites to win the race, and for two
Yeah.
reasons. Lando Norris will try and do something spectacular and end up with egg on his face tomorrow. So that's
Yeah,
why
if I
I
were him, I
feel,
wouldn't know because he only needs to come third. He only needs to get a
yeah, he
finish.
only
He needs to
needs
be
to come
careful.
third, but I think he might want to push it. And you know what happens when Lando
Yeah, because
Norris,
of his ego. His
because of
ego.
his ego. So, and it's amazing what Max Verstappen has done this season. When the car had issues, he always pulls the rabbit out of the hat. He puts in so much effort to find a way out of his subpar car, and that's
Yes.
a testament to his
And
racecraft.
so here's what he did
Really,
this week. Coming in, they had understeer. And this is another thing. When Verstappen tells you that the car has understeer, most drivers wouldn't have known it because they don't feel the car. FP3, he said, we have understeer. So what they did was to get rid of that understeer, they made some adjustments from front to end, and they made the car less pointy again. He's been doing this a lot on these tracks that favor McLaren. He's been making the car less pointy and much front so that it has better race pace, maybe not one lap. But he even found time on one lap, and he reduced the he usually uses low grip. I'm no He usually uses a low downforce, but he increased the downforce more because Verstappen likes low downforce because of straight line speed. But this track is 50% straight line, 50%, especially that sector 3 is really
Of
bad.
course.
So what he did was he sacrificed some straight line. He did this with his team, and on top of that, they on top of that they realized that free practice was during when it's warm, but they knew that qualifying and the race will be when it's cold. So they realized that in colder weather they have a better window anyway. You understand what I'm saying? But all of this shows you a team in which they're problem solving. They're making adjustments with Max. McLaren drivers are like, I'll be there at the track at 3 p.m. Give me the car ready. I haven't heard Norris or Piastri sit down troubleshoot with their car. Part of the reason they don't troubleshoot with their car is because they feel the car don't need. But like you said, Verstappen, one of the reasons he'll win the championship this year is just because of what you said, solving problems. It's not just that he drives well; he does troubleshooting with his engineers, and for some reason, they always find it right in time for qualifiers. Have you noticed that every weekend they look like shit? The car is breaking, the car is flexing, it's rubbish. I'm skating on ice. The next thing you know, Q1, because they make adaptations in real time to make up for the fact that they don't have good
Absolutely.
sim
In
data.
fact, if you
Yeah,
see
that's it.
some of the races this year, you see my best friend complaining of mechanical grip and balance issues, and somehow his engineering team would solve that problem prior to the
Yeah,
race, and then you see a marked improvement. So I think
yeah,
the difference here is that Max Verstappen, uh, even though he's a driver, is also an engineer in the sense that he can interpret his problems to his engineers, and the engineers can,
yeah.
you
And
know,
he can even come up with some solutions for them. He'll tell
yes,
them,
come up with
okay,
solutions for them.
I
So
know that I can take a little, we can cut the wing a little bit. And I remember that Makia and the other guy said, are you sure? No, not Makia, the other one, Lauren, who's the other guy? Pierre Vacher said, no, Max, you need more front wing. He said, back wing or whatever. He said, no, I don't. Trust me. But what it is that he knows his driving ability. He knows how the car feels. So he knows where, I'm going to use a fancy term to reality, where the limit of adhesion is. And I've been reading of his happen. He knows the limit of adhesion, which means he can feel a car and know that it's very imbalanced, okay, or that it has it lacks grip, and he likes for the rear tires to lack grip because if since it lacks grip, it gives him more straight line speed and more speed on high speed corners. But he also knows that its lacking grip can make it unstable, so he's able to calculate at what level of instability he can still pull it off. Do you get my point? So he knows that's what they call the limit of adhesion. So because the more grip you have, the more straight line speed you lose.
sure, absolutely.
But most people couldn't drive with that small amount of grip in the rear the way he does. You get my point.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Grab my limits of adhesion. I've been studying. I've been studying AI, studying engineering.
This guy, this guy has been trying to come in since we did the Arsenal show.
But that was long ago. I saw him. He's calling me long ago. He didn't come on time. All right, I'll follow me.
Okay.
Take us out. We're done. We're done for
Okay.
today.
It's been another brilliant show, and whether or not Max wins tomorrow, he's the real winner. Put Max in the McLaren car, and he would have won with 3 races to spare.
Yeah.
And
I
from
only
most
ask
of
one thing of Max. Only one thing. Don't win the championship. I'm asking you to win. Just win tomorrow's race. That's all we ask.
that's
Just win the race. I'm serious. No, because even if you lose, just win the race. This
of
was
course.
you're going to see a champion who lost more races to the person who comes second this year.
Yeah,
All right, take
sure.
us out.
So,
You've done this is your 6th show this month, right?
yeah, 6th.
Okay, go ahead. You're on
Okay,
pace
so we're
to break
back
the record.
again with Formula One, probably tomorrow. When Max will
Yeah,
pop the champagne
yeah,
tomorrow. From Mustafa
yeah.
and
Champagne.
myself, we'll be back again.
I thought it'd be champagne if he wins, champagne if he loses, because I'm going to need it. Champagne to celebrate or champagne to feel
No,
better.
we'll celebrate the race win. We will
Oh yeah,
celebrate the
that's
race
how
win.
we want a victory for
Sure,
Chef
sure.
Max.
We'll
All right,
celebrate the
so
race
I'll
win.
see you. Very good one, though.
All
Okay.
right.